KASSADIN, the Void Walker. I'm just messing around. KASSADIN is currently my favorite AP assassin next to Katarina, and I figured I'd do a commentary on him and show how useful he can actually be on team fights. So let's just jump into his abilities. First, let's talk about his passive. All you really need to know is that he takes 50% reduced magic damage and transforms this damage into a bonus attack speed. That doesn't matter unless you're going for an attack speed Kassадin, which I don't recommend. I recommend you play him as a high magic damage AP caster. Now, let's jump into his Q. His Q is Null Sphere. Basically what it does is it silences and deals damage. Very straightforward, very simple. His W, Netherblade, has a passive effect and an active effect. When activated, Kassадin deals bonus magic damage with his basic attacks. And his passive effect is it gives Kassадin mana. Force Pulse deals damage in a cone in front of him. He can deal damage to multiple targets and is very strong. And Rift Walk, it basically teleports Kassадin. It's on a 5 to 6 second cooldown and it deals damage to the location he teleports to. So let's just jump right into it. Enemy team right away doing an invade. A fail invade, if I may say so. They didn't wait for Tarek. They just wanted to kill. So I'm just gonna come up to Sing Zhao, basic attack, ignite, and just quickly secure the kill for my team. I'm gonna silence Zed, and Caitlin's gonna pick up the kill. And I'm just gonna wait a little bit. And if you notice, we actually came out on top. We got 2 kills for the price of 1. We were thinking of contesting this on a 4v3, but they are pretty tanky and Tarek is there, so we decided just to let it go. Let it slide. Now, one thing to note about Kassадin is if you're really good at micromanaging your mana usage, Kassadin is the man for you. I mean, he's very strong with blue, don't get me wrong, and you should give him blue if possible, but when you have a jungle Fiddlesticks or a jungle Shogath, you know, those champions that use a lot of mana, Kassadin can actually do without blue. Just because of the passive effect of Netherblade. You can harass with your Q and then just get your mana back by simply attacking the minions. If you do this correctly, and if you save your abilities and just focus on farming, Kassadin is actually very strong in lane and very hard to counter. The reason why you should also farm up at first is because Kassadin is strong when he reaches level 6. Anything before that is just gonna make you a bit weaker. But once you get level 6 and you can really get in their face and just start hitting them with everything you got and nuke them down, then Kassadin becomes a force to be reckoned with. Another distinction I want to make is Kassadin is an assassin. People often confuse him with just a regular AP mid like Brand or I don't know, freaking Kale. He's an assassin. Now, what that does is his abilities are made to assassinate. His abilities are great for last hitting, and he can nuke people down very quickly, especially squishy targets. So he will usually go for the enemy's AP carry if they're squishy or AD carry. That being said, this brings up the fact that people in Kassadin's team, many of the time they accuse him of KSing, and people in the enemy team accusing of being cheap, and this brings up a good point. It's a matter of being a good teammate. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I was surprised that during this game I wasn't called a KSer once. Right here, just gonna ult, gonna flash, and see you later, Brand. I was impressed by that. I was like, really? Because I was picking up kills left and right. I'm an assassin, that's what I do. And I guess these people understood that, and as a result, I got really fed, and we win the game. Spoiler alert. But, you know, that's something you want to think about when you're playing either against or with a Kassадin on your team. He's an assassin, and that's what he does. You know what I mean? That's like saying a tank, you should report a tank for being too tanky. It just makes no sense. But enough of that. Let's talk about the little things about their abilities. I did talk. Oh, and props on Skarner for letting me have the kill right here. He knows I need to get fed, and he just lets me have the kill, even though he did have the ability to pick out the kill if he wanted. Right here, I'm gonna try to return the favor, but he was just screwed. Zed is a little bit fed, not incredibly fed, but Rengar was having lag issues, so he gave a couple of kills, and he's gonna be the one carrying in the other team. So like I was saying, let's talk about the minor tweaks in Kassadin's abilities. His Q is nothing special. His Q is actually... Oh, but before I say that, I'm going to pick up a little kill on Zed, and I'm going to wait for my moment. You don't want to engage right away as Kasadin, because you will get focused down. So I'm going to go for their AD carry, and before he can do anything, I'm going to eliminate him. I'm going to completely bypass Taric, and I'm going to focus on Brand. Brand is the one doing damage, and Taric is just there trying to help. Force Pulse into a basic attack, and it's going to finish off Brand. Immediately we're going to chase after Taric. Taric's going to be smart enough to drop a ward behind him to know where we are, and then he's just going to keep going. So that's an unofficial triple kill for me. Again, getting fed as Kasadin, very important. So let's talk about the minor tweaks in his abilities. The first thing you should know about the Q is it's Kasadin's strongest harassment tool, and it silences. Now, many people say, oh yeah, it silences, whatever. No, the silence is actually very strong, and it lasts longer than many of the silences in the game. Knowing that, you should realize that this silence can actually make you just vulnerable. It's incredible. It can cancel your flash. It can cancel any sort of escape mechanism you have. So really pay attention to that. He is very strong with his Q. With his E, the way these E work is very particular. I don't know why exactly it works this way. I guess it's to sort of nerf him on a 1v1 situation, but the way his E works is, instead, no. Wait for it. Kill secured! The way the E works is, once it comes off of cooldown, you have to wait for 7 spells to be cast on Kasadin in order for him to use it. Oh, right here, I'm going to have to slow down things out. However, he does have that gap closure. I'm going to try to fight him under the turret. He thinks with Taric's heal and his lifesteal he can take me, so I'm just going to flash away and let the turret finish the job. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. I'm going to get... Sorry, the clip cut off. I get hit by Draven's ult, and then Taric sticks around a little bit too long. He gets ulted by Kate, so suicide is not an option at this point, and he just ends up dying to me. So the E works in a very particular way. 7 spells have to be cast around Kasadin, which is a little bit weird if you think about it. But I do understand that Kasadin is very strong in lane. So if he was able to use his E whenever it was up, he would be overpowered. Again, picking up the kill on the AD carry. I'm not sure if we can fight this. And after I get ulted and Brand just doing that much damage and gets healed, I know we can't fight this. We don't have Rengar's on his way, so I'm just going to stick around for a little bit, try to see if I can hit somebody to regenerate mana. But it's not so bad. It's not so bad. It regenerates pretty quickly during team fights. I'm just going to regenerate a little bit of mana right now. And then finally, let's get to the ultimate, and this is Kasadin's bread and butter, and the thing that makes him awesome and annoying, depending on which team you are. Rift Walk. Rift Walk is just an amazing ability. It's very similar mechanically to Kog'Maw's ultimate. It works the same way. You target a certain spot, and then you move to that certain spot. Zed doing a great job of blocking the shot. However, I'm Kasadin, so he's not going anywhere. It works like Kog'Maw, and it has a very a 6 to 5 second cooldown, and once you use it right after that, if you keep using it, the mana cost is going to increase eventually until you can't use it anymore. Many people say it's overpowered. And I do understand why. But keep in mind, the only overpowered thing about it is he can just flash. It doesn't do as much damage as any of his other abilities. It doesn't even come close. It makes him very strong when chasing, but that's it. Other than that, he's actually pretty weak. So when countering Kasadin, make sure you save hard CC for him, or focus him down immediately, so he can't Rift Walk out of the way. That's sort of his abilities and how you should play early game. Now, when it comes to mid game, you should actually pick your fights. He's very similar to Katarina in the sense that you shouldn't be the first one in. You should never be the first one in as an AP assassin, actually. You should wait for your moment, like this. Boom, and there you go. You should wait for your moment to go in. You shouldn't just be mindlessly, even though he is a melee AP caster or assassin, whatever you want to call it. You should wait for your moment. You should wait and really meticulously plan your next move. And if you do so, look at that. I killed 2 people without, or at least killed 1 people and got 2 assists just with no health, just by playing it right. You should never, ever, ever as Kasadin be the first one in to fight. Never. You should just wait for your team to engage for your tank and then go immediately and clean up, like so. At this point, the team was starting to ward up, and we knew they were warding up, so we're just gonna go after them and try to finish them off. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to slow down Tarek long enough for him to pick up the kill, and I'm going to kill secure this guy. And that's it. We came out on top once again. Oh, Zed, again, being extremely fed and doing a lot of damage, but not enough. Brand thinks he's good. Brand. I can just flash over wall. Actually, I shouldn't make fun of Brand. A well-played Brand can actually be a hard counter for Kassadin, just because the fact that he can stun Kassadin and really do a number on him. Now let's talk about the build. I've been playing Kassadin for a few months, and I have tried attack speed Kassadin, and I have seen attack speed Kassadin, and it's not terrible, you know. But it's not my thing. I like to really stay back and pick up the kills, clean up for my team. Just really be an assassin. I want to feel like I'm lurking in the shadows, just waiting to go in and killing. Like this. Just waiting, that. And saying that, if you're looking for a commentary on attack speed Kassadin, I'm afraid I'm not your man. I'm only here to sort of give you a rundown on how you should play him as an AP caster. And assassin again, flash over the wall and get the kill. So his build is pretty straightforward. You can build him many ways. I have seen many ways to build Kassadin. Popsonius, and nice try, guy. Shout out to Donkey. Beat him, Donkey. But he does his build. I'm very reluctant to talk about build, and I've always been. I think the build adjusts to the player's style. So all I'm gonna say is that there are 2 items that you should get as Kassadin. You should get the tier, and for the mana, and you should get the Sony's Hourglass. Now you shouldn't get the tier. The tier shouldn't be your first item. It should be like your second to third item, because if you pick up the tier, the enemy AP mid might not pick up the tier, and he might end up doing more damage than you. So as a rule of thumb, don't pick up the tier right away unless they do. That being said, he needs Sonia's. The fact that he's so squishy, he just needs Sonya. And right here I'm gonna get greedy. I'm gonna go after Zed, not really thinking that, realizing that Zed is as fed as I am, if not more. Well, not more. But I'm gonna stick around for a little bit too long, and Zed is just gonna own my face. So that was a terrible part. I tried to time my Zonias to his ultimate, but it did not work out for me. So basically, you gotta build Kassadin for nuking damage. You just gotta nuke people, do a lot of burst damage. So my build for this one was Ravenoth Deathclap, Sony's Hourglass, obviously Magic Penetration Boots, and Rod of Ages to get a little bit tankier. Right here, I'm going after Brand. He's not going to get away, I'm afraid. I'm going to go back into the fight while my team cleans up a little bit. Sing Zhao is obviously the high priority target over Tarek, and we're just going to clean them up and just mop up like a boss. Kassadin, you should then, after the tier, you should move up to Archangel Staff and get that item that, I haven't memorized the name, but it basically, the active effect, it gives you a shield. Now, what this does, it allows Kassadin to initiate, believe it or not. You pop your shield, you ult in, you slow everybody with your E, and then you pop Sonius and allow your team to follow up and clean up, like a boss. So those are the 2 items I will really recommend on Kassadin. Anything else is up to you. If you want to go for a cooldown reduction on Kassadin, go for it, I guess. My runes are just flat AP runes, AP per level. You know, nothing special. So right here, the enemy team realizes we're pushing. Kassadin is just very strong. I'm very fed. I see an opportunity to finish up Brand, and look at that. He's not going anywhere. So overall, Kassadin is a very important asset to any team as an assassin and as an AP mid. I highly recommend you use him if you're really good at micromanaging your mana and at being a good assassin. Kassadin might be the guy for you. So go ahead, try him out if you like him, and if you think he's a KSer, just send Riot your complaints. Maybe they'll nerf him. I don't know.